Viewer discretion is advised.
Debate number 2, Michael Jackson versus Usher. Two of the greatest of all time, but there can only be one. So let's hop on this ride. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is the impact. Who impacted more? Because Michael started out in the 70s with the Jackson 5, then he had a solo career and showing off how an amazing dancer he really is. You know what I'm saying? He paved way for many of these male artists and female artists today. If it wasn't for Michael's impact, then music would be dead, because Mike, he was something else. You know what I'm saying? He was just the world's impactful. There's so many words to describe Michael Jackson. You know what I'm saying? Many people grew up watching him, listening to his music, buying his albums. You see many artists like this today, The Weeknd, and also Usher. You know what I'm saying? Usher had an impact because he was our Michael Jackson growing up in the early 2000s, late 90s. You know what I'm saying? Michael Jackson passed the torch off to Usher Raymond. I gotta tell you that much. Passed the torch off to Usher. You know what I'm saying? He had the dance moves, the swagger, and he dominated the R&B throughout the entire decade. You know what I'm saying? He's been doing this ever since he was a teenager. You know what I'm saying? Like, without Usher, you wouldn't even see Jacquees. You wouldn't even see, who else? The Weeknd. You wouldn't even see Chris Brown. You wouldn't even see any of these artists that you see today. You know what I'm saying? Brent Faiyaz is another one. You know what I'm saying? Look at the swagger that my man Usher has. He has so many number one hits just like Michael. You know what I'm saying? Usher is the dark-skinned version of Michael Jackson. You know what I'm saying? Don't at me on that one, because y'all know it's true. Breakout project. Michael Jackson started off in the Jackson 5, as we already know. And then he released his first album, Off the Wall. And then in 1982 came Thriller. Now, Thriller debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200 and won several Grammys. It sold over 30 million plus copies. You know what I'm saying? The most selling album of all time. You know what I'm saying? Dominated the 80s, and then in the 90s, and then beyond. You know what I'm saying? There's no words to describe Michael. You know what I'm saying? He broke the barriers for black artists to have their music videos shown on TV. He broke the racial barriers for having black music listened to on radios. Michael Jackson was just that dominant back in the day. He broke those barriers. No other black man could have done that in the 80s besides Michael Jackson. Usher, he had 2 albums of his own, 87, 01, and then his biggest album to date, Confessions, which is his most selling album of his entire career, with songs like Yeah, Confessions Parts 1 and 2, Superstar, Bad Girl, you name the whole track list. It's on there. Usher was cooking in that studio for his fans. And also Confessions was about his breakup with Chili. You know what I'm saying? The girl from TLC, the member of TLC. Yeah was Usher's biggest debut on the Hot 100 of all time. But it wasn't as impactful as Michael Jackson's Thriller. Like, no album will ever, and I mean ever, match Michael Jackson's Thriller. I mean, everywhere you just have to hear about Thriller. Every year somebody is always buying Michael Jackson vinyl or CD or downloading it on digital. So there's no way that you can leave Michael off this list. Who paved the way for R&B more? Who did that? Michael Jackson, because he's the king of pop. And like in the late 70s, he started off in R&B, in the R&B drama, and then worked his way up to funk, pop, everything he could like set his hands on. that was all Michael Jackson. Like, would you ever, ever hear a Michael Jackson song with no flavor at all? I don't think so. And the same couldn't be said about Usher Raymond, because Usher Raymond, every year he's always doing something. He was influenced by Mike and all these other artists, you know what I'm saying, that he listened to growing up. Because Usher is the last one standing, making all these popular hits in our pop culture from the late 90s. You know what I'm saying? Because most of these artists who have, I can't even speak because it's just too impactful. But you ever see Usher like take a hiatus or something? No, every year he's coming out with something, no matter what. Collaborations, songs, albums, no matter what. Same couldn't be said for Michael. From the late 70s all the way up to his death, Michael Jackson every year had something out for his fans and for the world, you know what I'm saying? Because he was about the humanitarian effect. And we can't take that away from him. Michael Jackson is a special gift and paved the way for Usher. Live performances. Michael Jackson and Usher are two of the biggest performers on the planet. We're going to start with Usher first. Usher always had all these electrifying performances back in the day. No matter what you say about Usher Raymond, it will never be denied that Usher will always be number one when it comes to performances, concerts, award shows, no matter what. But next up, we got to talk about Michael Jackson's impact, because we never seen a black man, like, especially in the magnitude of the 80s, dance on national television before. And it all began at Motown's 25th anniversary party. You know what I'm saying? That's when the moonwalk was first ever televised. And that paved the way for a lot of dancers, because every year, we see some dance on TikTok or on TV, YouTube, whatever. Michael Jackson invented the moonwalk. You know what I'm saying? That was his signature dance move. And you see every single year, or somebody every single day doing the moonwalk or trying to be like Mike. Even me. Here is my conclusion. Michael Jackson has to win this debate, because without him, we wouldn't even see artists like Usher. And Usher is up there at second, in my opinion, because these two are the greatest dancers of all time. And there's no denying that, because even at his old age, at their old ages, Mike and Usher both still can get on that dance floor without breaking a hip. No offense. Because they got that youth in them, and they'll do it.